That's good.
And
Yeah.
and he's actually able to speak to me a little more because the person I was with, definitely a louder person.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of hard between him and the engagement, so many moving parts where sometimes it can be hard to hear what God is trying to tell you. So being single for me has allowed me to, listen to what God has in store for me.
Sometimes being single allows you to be in tune with yourself.
Absolutely.
Be in tune with your creator. A lot of times we talk to other people, and we talk to those people who are our mates and those people who we confide in, our boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever may call you. When a lot of those times we need to spend that time with God.
Right.
A lot of people, they pray and ask God for things, or they talk to God, but they never take the time out to listen.
Right.
So what it sounds to me like you're saying is you took time out to listen to what God was trying to tell you.
Well, see, the thing is that I've always wanted to listen. I grew up in the church, so
Yes.
I've always have known to, if you want to listen to God, that you should be listening. But there came a time where I didn't hear him anymore. But it didn't mean that he wasn't talking to me. I mean, he's always talking. But like I said, there was a time where between the engagement and just, giving my all to this other person, where I wasn't hearing God as much. And once I became single, I was able to hear him a little more than what I did before.
What was the lesson? What was the lesson in, pretty much like what you just said, being able to be in a position where you heard from God and being obedient to sitting down and saying, okay, God, if you want me to walk away, I'm going to walk away? Because a lot of women be like, you crazy. You see how big this ring is?
Well, that is
we getting this big old house built.
Right.
And a lot of women would love to have a good man. But you said, I'm willing to walk away in order to be happy. What was the lesson in it?
If you're going to be saved, you're going to have to listen to what God is telling you.
Yeah.
And he's going to just get louder and louder with it. And that's what happened to me. The first time, he actually told me twice to leave. I didn't listen those first two times.
Why do you think God was telling you to leave?
Because it just wasn't part of his will. It wasn't in his will. It was meant for me it wasn't meant for me to live in Maryland, because had I went on and gotten married, I would have had to stay in Maryland because of his job. He's a police officer, and good black man with a job. So I had to stay there and make that work. I think it was meant for me to be here. I'm a little closer to my family, physically, because most of them live down here. My daughter, she's going to be starting college here. And so I think it's just meant for me to be here. I've met so many wonderful people.
Yeah.
I'm talking to somebody now. We'll see. I don't want to talk too much about him.
Are you happy?
I am very happy.
That's good. So let's just talk a little bit about that. You knew what you was looking for. Did you find those qualities in him, or is it just something that just happened?
You know what? When I met him, I think this was probably 4 years into me being single. I mean, during that time, I would still go out on dates, and because I am blogging about being single and happy, part of that is dating and online dating. So if for nothing more than just something to blog about, I would go out on these dates, and I actually met him online. And by that time I met him, I knew more of what I wanted. It wasn't about, okay, I need somebody to complete me again. It's about, okay, this is what I already have to offer. Will he mesh with what I'm doing? And you know what? I'm not going to rush into it either, because,
Good.
This might not be what God wants for me either.
Are you opposed to internet dating?
I'm not. I'm not opposed.
But you just so happen to meet him online.
I met him on a dating site. I'm not going to share which one.
You don't have to share with me.
Okay, but I did meet him he actually met me. He found my profile, and I will tell you this, ladies, if you are going to do online dating, make sure you fill out your profile. Make sure you try to keep it as positive as you can, because you wouldn't introduce yourself with, I don't like this, I don't like that, and keep the list very short too, because
break it down.
You don't want to scare men off.
Yeah.
And sometimes you may have to just ditch the list too. So,
yeah.
But he liked that I had a sense of humor, and that I do have a sense of humor, and he liked that. Because I am a writer, I try to be careful not to make it too much of a dissertation. He liked that I was straight to the point. I mean, I'm a New Yorker, so
there you go.
I am going to be straight to the point.
Straightforward.
He liked that I made my point without it being negative.
Great.
And so he met me.
What advice could you give a lot of women that are watching this and saying, I like the space that she's in. She's dating, but yet she's still single.
Right.
She feels complete within herself. I don't feel that way. How can I get to where she's at? What can I do to be more of a positive person, to be happy and single? What advice?
It took me a while to get to this point. I mean, I didn't leave the engagement and all of a sudden became single and happy.
Yeah.
You definitely need to take time for yourself. I find a lot of women, or a lot of people in general, just want to jump out of one relationship into another and not date, or not just date themselves. You have to make time to do all of that. And I did. I made time to be by myself.
Yeah.
And I made time, again, going back to the Boaz and the Ruth story, she wasn't looking for a man, she was working. You got to keep yourself occupied.
Keep yourself busy.
Go back to school, and start that business you've been talking about. Work out, do whatever it is you said you wanted to do, but you were always busy. Whether you were in this relationship or marriage or whatever it is, whatever you put to that back burner, you need to bring that to the front.
That's right. Become the person who you want to be.
Become the person you keep telling yourself you are.
That's it.
But for whatever reason, women especially, we like to put things, on hold.
Yeah.
Whether it's going back to school or, starting a business. Right. We keep putting it off. Traveling.
Yeah.
You have to make time to do all of these things, and then you'll realize, okay, being single is not just about being alone and figuring a way how to find a man.
A lot of times I say that you attract what you reflect. If you want someone who's physically fit, then you need to be in the gym. If you want someone who's educated, then go back to school. And it shouldn't be nothing wrong with that, because you're becoming a better person. And like you said earlier, that man can only add to who you are.
That's right. The compliment. It's all about the compliment, not the completion.
Thank you so much, Ty, for sitting down. Any last words?
Ty.
Any last words, Ty?
I'm just glad to be here with incomparable Fly Ty.
There you go. Give them the website for everybody that wants to find out how to be single and happy.
Sure, it's singleandhappyonline.com. Facebook.com/singleandhappy.
There you have it. Sitting down with Ty Wilson. And she's single, fine, and happy.
Oh, you did not say fine.
Thank you so much. That was good. That was good.
Oh my